What are some of the grossest things about being 600 pounds? I'm going to talk about it next. Hey everybody, it's Tony's Big T Bariatric and I'm back at you with another video. Today it is Wednesday already. Yes, it's Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you could do me a huge favor, look down below and see if you're subscribed to my channel. And if you're not, please hit that button. Let's get this thing to 6,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate it. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this video. I appreciate it, and I love you guys very, very much. So tonight, Big Talks with Big T, it's on. My friend Scout's going to come on with me, and it'll probably be around maybe 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern Time. She has an appointment, and I got a church thing at 6:30, so it's going to be kind of smacked in there somewhere in between. So keep an eye out for when my channel goes live if you're interested in watching, and I invite you guys to please come on out. Enjoy this chat with us. So it's not just us talking. We like to engage with the audience, and you can ask us questions and you can participate and share your opinion, and we will cover those opinions and thoughts live. So yeah, come on out and join us tonight, sometime this evening, 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So today I'm going to talk about some of the grossest moments about being 600 pounds. And in order to do that, I'm going to react to a plot twist video that's entitled The Dirtiest My 600 Pound Life Guests Ever Gross. So the purpose of me doing this video is not to make fun of the people on my 600 pound life or the things that they've been through. I'm going to share some of my own very, very gross and embarrassing stories about being 600 pounds. So if you're not up for that sort of thing, then maybe this isn't the right video for you. You're welcome to tune out and just watch the next one tomorrow. So, yep, that's what we're talking about today. And I think it's important to have this conversation because as many people are out there saying there's nothing wrong about being 600 pounds, that there's, not 600 pounds, but as many people are out there saying there's nothing wrong with being obese and that there's no complications, there's no consequences and all that stuff. I think it's important for us to talk about there are a lot of bad things that happen to you the bigger that you get. And this isn't the 200 illnesses and diseases connected to obesity. This is some of the gross stuff, the things that you don't even think about, the little mundane things that most people who are smaller do every single day with no issue, but you can't do any longer the bigger that you get. And so that's some of the things we're going to talk about today. And I think it's, again, important to get this information out there to deter anybody who's thinking that I'm just going to get fat and happy and I don't care. Well, this is what's in your future if you don't take care of yourself. So we're going to get into this, and again, even though this is a plot twist video, for some reason they're allowed to share these clips, but when I do them, TLC comes looking. Alright, so I'm going to have to pause frequently. If there's a long stretch or there's a clip, yeah, I'm going to have to take care of it somehow. So please don't mind the frequent pausing. And again, I'll add in some of my own anecdotes and stories from my own life here. So let's get started.
I've become such a burden to them. Especially my mom, because she has to clean me every day. It was absolutely terrifying.
What's up?
Alright, so the first one is probably the worst one that I've had to experience. Yeah, when you get to be 600 pounds, even in your 500s, like, you cannot wipe yourself. Alright, so what do? How do you handle that situation when you become so big that you can't even wipe your own butt? I mean, we covered the person who hadn't wiped herself in 7 years, and so as soon as she got a boyfriend, her boyfriend was doing that for her because you just cannot do it. I've seen other YouTube videos of overweight people, and they just nonchalantly talk about, oh, I got this back scratcher, and I put something on the end of it, and I'm able to reach around and wipe myself with that back scratcher. I'm like, ugh, do you still, like, use that to scratch your back with after it's been all up inside your butt and everything? It's like, that's gross. I mean, that's one of the grossest things about being 600 pounds that a lot of people don't think about, is you are not able to wipe yourself. So, here's my story, and I'm so embarrassed to share this with you guys, but again, I'm doing it to get the word out there and to warn people about the consequences of obesity. Alright, so I didn't have anybody wipe my butt for me, but I had what are called poop towels. All right, so I had a certain amount of towels that were under my sink that I would use when I used the bathroom. And so I'd get the towels and I'd form them in a way that was like in a cone so that I could sit on them and then just kind of shimmy my way across. And I cleaned myself that way. And then I'd step into the bathtub, use my hand shower, and just get under there and I'd spray myself. So that's how I clean myself after using the bathroom. And of course, I couldn't go up the stairs, which is where my washer and dryer is. So my mom would have to wash my poop towels for me. That was fun, right? That was not embarrassing at all. Oh, man, I hate telling that story. Some of you are going to like click off. I'm unsubscribing right now. That was gross, Big T. But, you know, it's like when you get that big, it's one of the things that should drive you to want to change and to get healthy, because it's certainly what has been driving me to get healthy is I need to be able to take care of myself, and I'm able to do that now after having weight loss surgery and losing almost 200 pounds. I can clean myself. I can take a shower by myself. I don't have any issues with that. So...
What's up, guys? We're doing something a little different today, okay? Welcome back to Plot Twist. Today, I'm going to showcase the worst, most dirty, roach-infested, food-filled houses of my 600-pound life. These living conditions are unacceptable, but when you weigh 600 pounds, I guess all that matters is your next meal anyway. Like this video and subscribe to Plot Twist before we get started.
I mean, that's an important point that she just made there. When you're that big, it's like nothing else matters anymore. Like, you're already past the point of... any kind of self-worth or self-respect. Like, you just don't have any for yourself anymore. It's like everything else around you is gone. Everybody else around you, like, you don't go outside anymore. You're just not living life to the fullest extent. You're not able to work. You're just not able to do anything. And so you just sit there, and the only thing you look forward to is that next meal. Because, like, any self-respect, anything is just out the window. Because now you can't even wipe yourself. You can't even take a shower. You are afraid of falling asleep because you might die. You might break the furniture. Like, all these things. I mean, it's just all there. And so, yeah, you just lose any bit of self-respect that you have.
Now you know the drill. Kick back, grab some roach spray, hold your nose, and let's take a tour of some of these crazy houses.
I'm scared that I'm not going to wake up because of my weight.
Can you go down there and help me?
My weight, it scares me now.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this frequently, too, about how some of the biggest fears that they have, and I've had even, is that you're just not going to wake up in the morning, because if you're that big, you have sleep apnea. It's right there along with it. I'm sure there are a few people who did not have sleep apnea, or maybe they were not alerted to the fact they have sleep apnea. But if you can imagine all that weight pressing down on your throat, on your lungs area, and so breathing itself is difficult when you're that big. But when you're sleeping and you lay down on your back, and all that weight just presses down, and your throat and all that relaxes as it normally does when you sleep, you're going to snore heavy, you're going to have problems with sleep apnea, and many people die from that. Like, they don't even wake up in the morning. And so a lot of these people, we hear them say, wow, I was shocked that I even woke up this morning. And that's a very, very sad state to live in. But just looking at her house right there, this is one of the most disgusting houses I've seen on the show. And it's most definitely roach infested and disgusting. And that's one of the things, too, about being big. Like, my room has always been gross. I actually had a time right after my dad died that friends had to come over and help clean my apartment because it was just disgusting. Like, dishes piled in the sink, uncleaned, just mold everywhere. I've had fruit fly infestations where there's just fruit flies everywhere because I just wasn't very good at cleaning. When you're that big, you don't get up, you don't clean. So my room's always been filthy and everything else. My room is taking a lot better shot lately. I'm still kind of moving my room around, trying to find a good spot for things. I'm trying to find a desk to put in there so I can start recording in my room, stuff like that. So this isn't my permanent setup right here. This is just the dining room table. But so I'm trying to do better with things, but it still hurts to stand for long periods of time. So I have a bunch of shirts that I try to keep hung up in the closet, but sometimes they just end up on the floor. So that's something I'm learning, especially if I'm going to start dating somebody soon. I need to be able to keep my room clean and stuff like that. But when you're a big person, And if you don't have somebody helping you, and even in her case, she has somebody helping her, but it's like you just live in filth. There's trash all over the place, especially if you're ordering fast food. I mean, there's times where I had a landlord and he would just come in and scream at me because my room was filthy, and it was bags and bags and bags of just trash from McDonald's and Burger King, and just because I was constantly ordering out, and where are you going to put all that stuff? You're too big to go take the trash out, so it just kind of piles up, and then maybe you get somebody to come over, and maybe one day a week or maybe once a month even have somebody come over and help you out and bag up all the trash. And my mom would often come over and help me clean up my room. And so now that I've lost all this weight, I'm able to take the trash out. I took the trash out the other day, a big old box and several other boxes. So and the garbage, so I'm able to do the dishes and clean and do all that stuff that I wasn't able to do before. But yeah, that's definitely one of the things that you have to look forward to being obese, is you're just living in a pile of trash.
Yeah, stand up in front of the bed.
I can't lie, Cyrita is the inspiration for this video. Her house is one of the worst we've seen in a really long time.
I'm hungry. You ready for breakfast? I am.
It's like peace and war. Do I want war or do I want peace? If I give in, I'll have peace. If I don't, it'll be a constant nag.
Food fulfills me. It fulfills empty voids that humans can't fulfill.
There's junk absolutely everywhere, and the carpet looks like it's never been vacuumed a day in her life. There's a hot plate or a portable stove right in front of the TV.
And that's another thing about food, is you eat in your bed. So you're not getting up, you're not going to the dinner table. And I know some of them do. Some of them have tables that they go and eat at, but most of the time you're eating in your bed, because getting out of bed is difficult. Sitting on any chairs is difficult. They do have certain chairs that rate up to like 1,000 pounds that you can get, which is what I'm sitting in right now. Of course, I don't need it anymore because I'm not that big, but the other chairs we do have around the table right now are kind of flimsy and probably wouldn't be able to hold me up, so I still use my fat chair. But yeah, when you eat inside your room, like, that's another thing you're covered in. Crumbs. There's crumbs all over your bed. There's crumbs on the floor. And where there's crumbs, guess what? There's critters. There's spiders. There's, I had a problem with carpet beetles all over the floor. And, just all kinds of just bugs. It's just nasty. Like, it accumulates, right? Like, it's just nasty, especially if you got all this trash on the floor. You're just gonna attract critters. So you're often living in filth.
You can even see the grease forming on the TV screen where she cooks food in bed every night.
Huh? No.
What's for breakfast? Ow! What's that? Ow!
God only knows what's hiding under the bed, too.
I'll set up here.
Okay.
All right.
And why are there so many empty fish tanks in the house?
You look like an enabler all the time, man. Just, what are you doing for her? Like, you're not cleaning, you're not working, you're not doing anything. You're just kind of sitting there while she cooks for herself and everything. It's just, why are you letting this get worse? I mean, that's the one thing that a lot of my 600-pound life people and a lot of 600-pound people in general need, is someone to enable them. And the enabler often is also doing the cleaning and doing the dishes and doing all of these things for the fat person. So
Each one of them dirtier than the last.
So I was raised by a lot of people, moving around from home to home.
At least the cat's doing its part to help clean up the floor.
I crawl up the stairs, and so I tried not to depend on my family so much, just because sometimes they enable me a little too much.
Cyrita has to crawl.
I mean, yeah, crawling up the stairs because you can't walk up them. I understand that feeling. I can go up the stairs now, no problem, except for my knees. My knees still bother me. So anytime I go up the stairs, it's like, especially my really bad knee now. Lately, it's been my left knee, which is weird for me because always my right knee has been the bad one, but now it seems to be fine, and the left one is the one that bothers me. So I kind of have to do a half crawl, half walk up the stairs now, which is interesting. But hey, I can get up there now, and no problem. I'm not so out of breath. You know, it's something that I can do. So.
Crawl to get up the stairs, and her house is in such bad condition that she actually fell through the floor recently. The walls are falling apart too.
I was mentally traumatized. But each new family that child services sent me to,
As they eat their breakfast,
Oh, did you see that? I'm sure she's about to reference it, but there was a bug crawling up the wall, probably a roach. I mean, when I lived in Texas, man, roaches were everywhere. They infested everything. You couldn't live anywhere that didn't have roaches. I mean, it was just that disgusting everywhere. Since I've been here in Michigan, I haven't seen a single roach. I'm not saying roaches aren't here in Michigan, but I guess they don't like the cold so much.
Of eggs and pizza rolls in bed, you can actually see a roach flying around behind them. I can only imagine how much bacteria and mold must be on that bed from them cooking 4-course meals in it and eating right in it every day.
No, I'm mixing all mine together.
Okay.
Let me know when to stop, 'cause once I get a hold of this car,
And that's another thing about being 600 pounds that is not a joy. If you can imagine someone that big and they don't clean themselves very well, they don't shower that often, they're not able to wipe themselves, well, guess what? You're sleeping in a bed. And so you're covered in bacteria. You often get yeast all up in your rolls and everything else. And so you're rolling around in this bed 24/7. You're not able to really get out of it very much. So just imagine how nasty those sheets are, and the blankets and the pillows and everything else, and how frequently they get washed. Is he doing the laundry there? Is he cleaning up after her in that way, making sure the sheets are done at least every other day or even every week? Probably not. Those sheets have probably been on there since the 1980s. I don't know. I might be just being a little humorous there, but that's another thing you have to consider. Just how disgusting and bacteria-filled that bed, those sheets, those pillows, everything is. And, of course, she has her food right there on top of it. How often she's able to wash her hands, even. I mean, it's all just a big pile of filth at this point.
here.
You eating too fast.
Yeah, we're trying.
Cooking right in your bedroom has got to be the most unsanitary thing you can do in your house. I'm nauseous at the thought of all the bugs. Plus, I don't even want to know how badly the smell sticks to the sheets and pillows.
Well, I've had a lot.
And that's another thing, clothes. The clothes that you wear, again, do not get washed as frequently. It wouldn't be too many times after wearing something that my smell would transfer to my clothes. And so a lot of times, big people smell really badly. Again, not even, it's hard to keep up with a yeast infection under rules and stuff like that. So in the summer, you smelled really bad. And that stuff transferred very easily to your clothes. So your clothes smelled bad. So most big people smell really bad. The rooms smell bad. It's just very difficult to do any kind of cleaning in there, especially when you're just stuck in bed 24/7. You're not able to clean anything. So that's part of it.
Relations and relationships.
On their way out of the house, it's clear to see how messy, dirty, and dilapidated the rest of the property is. There are garbage cans knocked over and trash everywhere, but no one bothers to pick it up. What do you think? Does Cyrita have the dirtiest house of any 600-pound life patient? Drop a comment and let me know what you guys think.
I can't get around. And I've been trapped in this bed for years now. I can't even go to the bathroom on my own anymore. The best I could do is scoot to the end.
So, I never had an issue doing number one, going to the bathroom. Because as long as the tub was next to my toilet, I could stand there. I'd put one foot on the tub ledge so that I could reach under my folds of fat and do what I needed to do to go to the bathroom that way. Now there's no problem going to the bathroom at all. But I could imagine, like, there were times I would pee in the tub. Yeah, I mean, that's the only way that I could go to the bathroom was to pee in the tub. If I do leave the house, let's say I'm staying at my sister's house for a few days, let's just say there's urine all over the floor and everything else because I'm having a difficult time reaching the toilet, and I don't do number two when I'm at somebody else's house. So if I'm there for a few days, I'm holding it. Like, I'm not doing number two. So that's a bad situation all around. But, I mean, she's peeing in a little Tupperware container. She has to bend down on the floor with a towel. I'm sure it's just the absolute filth because depending on how big you are, you can't even go pee. You can't go to the bathroom. I mean, that's just, it's very, very difficult to do. There's times, yeah, I've had a urine jug that I've had to use and tried to fill up. It's tough.
Under my bed and use a bowl that my boyfriend JT brings me. Thank you. And then he comes and takes it.
If you thought Cyrita was bad, make way for LaShante. She's so overweight that she has to sleep with her mattress on the floor, but with...
And then when you're doing something like that, it's like, okay, it's up to a boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, or dad, somebody who's taking care of you, usually your enabler, who's going to take that out for you, right? They're going to dump the urine, they're going to do whatever they can to take care of your waste. I mean, it's one of the gross things about being 600 pounds.
What's worse than that, she's too big to walk to the bathroom or to even fit on the toilet. So her boyfriend literally brings her a plastic bowl every time she has to pee.
Yeah, there's been times I've been worried about fitting into the bathroom. Do I fit through the doorway? Am I going to break the toilet?
Her poop, and she does her business right there out in the open. When she's done, he takes it from her with no gloves on. Super gross and super unhygienic.
But it's one of the most strange things I do all day. Because I have to try to move around and reach other parts of my body.
Even though I was able to shower, I would sit on the edge of the tub, and again, I had my handheld shower, and I'd spray myself down. I usually could only reach this area, though. My belly, up here, on my chest, underneath here. To get underneath where I needed to get to clean that area, no. Some days I was able to lift my gargantuan stomach up and spray under there. But in terms of washing it down, getting my back, getting my legs, anything like that, no way. There's no way I could wash myself any other place except up here. So, yeah, I mean, you constantly smelled because you could not reach every area you needed to shower on your own. A lot of these people have someone with them that they are able to lay on their side and lift up their fat so somebody can scrub under there. I didn't have that.
LaShanta, there's a lot of things that she cannot do. So I have to help LaShanta from time to time with a lot of things that she needs.
She then takes a bath in the exact same spot she just relieved her bowels in. Nice.
My sons, Jeremy and Sean, still live with me. So I make sure I make enough of them. And
can you imagine exposing your kids to that, though? Like, your kids have to take care of you. Your kids are watching you use the toilet in the freaking living room next to your bed. They have to tolerate your smell. They have to tolerate everything. They're seeing all of this happen. And they're having to take care of you in some way. They're having to grocery shop for you. They're having to probably take the urine bucket out for you if the boyfriend's not over. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And JT and me.
And then, you guessed it, just moments later, she's preparing an entire meal of raw chicken right in the bed she just showered in and pooped herself in. Hey, at least she's wearing gloves.
After that, my mom reached a point of no return. So she packed her stuff and left with my older sister, Tiffany, to take shelter with a friend. I woke up the next morning, and my sister and my mama were gone.
I mean, yeah, that's something you have to face is loneliness, because there's only so much certain people can take. You might have an enabler that's going to stick with you to the end, but the odds of that happening are zero. Because if you don't take care of yourself and you're getting lazier and lazier because you're taking advantage of other people who are doing everything for you, you're going to have to get to a point where they're going to want to leave. They're going to want to do their own thing. They're going to want their own independence because they can't take care of you anymore. They can't keep watching you get bigger and bigger. They can't take care of your urine buckets anymore and cleaning the bathroom floor because you peed all over it, or doing the dishes for you, shopping for you, all these things, cooking for you. And no matter what they do, you continually get bigger and bigger. And so people do give up on you. People have given up on me many times throughout my life. So it's just one of the tough things you're going to have to face if you're that big. And all these things are accumulated. Like all the things that I mentioned are all happening at once in your life, just constant. And that's why when I say that you cannot be fat and happy, that if you're obese and you're that big, you're miserable, how can you be happy living that lifestyle? How? There's absolutely no way that I can fathom that people are happy living this lifestyle. I mean, somebody completely attacked me in my video saying, oh, I'm fat and happy, I'm that big. And then I go and I watch her channel, and she's got videos of her talking about how she can't even use the bathroom. And when I use the example of the back scratcher, putting something on the end of it and wiping yourself, it's like, are you really saying that you're happy living that way? That you can't even wipe yourself, that you can barely shower? I mean, it's miserable. It's absolutely miserable. Every part of it is miserable. How can you claim to be happy and living like this? I just don't get it.
I didn't care if I lived or died, so I would eat to escape. I was so terribly lonely.
She would just sit there and urinate on herself, and that's pretty much where she stayed.
I mean, yeah, when you get that big and if you have nobody helping you out, it's like, that's it. I mean, you also have incontinence, too, when you're that big, because you have so much weight on your bladder. If you can imagine a pregnant woman who has difficulties with incontinence, it's because she has, weight on her bladder. The same thing when you're super morbidly obese. Like, there's times when I would just suddenly get the urge to pee. Like, there was no holding it in. It would just come out at times. Again, I don't have that problem now since I've lost the weight, which is great. But yeah, there's just times when you would pee yourself. Because it's like, once your bladder fills up, it's like, it just comes out. Like, there's no waiting. And that's gross, and that adds to the smell. And I can't tell you how many times my clothes smelled like urine or my bed smelled like urine, and I'd have to get them washed, and because you just can't hold it. You just can't control it.
You can't mention gross living conditions without checking in with Margaret. Watch as she devours this meal on her bed, the dirty soles of her feet facing the camera, and allowing 4 or 5 dogs to circle around her and beg for food. Listen, we all love snuggling with our dogs, but when you don't bathe and shower yourself, we all know you're not cleaning those dogs. It's actually pretty sad. During this scene, Margaret's mom tells us that Margaret used to wet the bed and just lay in it all day. She's probably the first 600-pound patient to admit that.
I mean, yeah, that's just true. So not only are you not able to wipe yourself, you're not clean down there, you're also urinating on yourself. And if you're as big as she is and she's living on her own with nobody to take care of her, I mean, she's got a pee pad there that dogs, that many people have for their dogs and their animals who pee inside. I mean, it's like if you're just laying there and you're peeing on yourself and you're having all kinds of bacterial issues and whatever, and then all those sheets get dirty, I mean, that's just it. You're literally laying in your own filth.
All right, let me get you up. Let's get you going. You want some coffee?
No.
One of them days?
Today I was supposed to be doing physical therapy, but usually I don't have the swollen leg, and so I just didn't really want to do nothing today.
She sleeps in the middle of her living room with a curtain around her, kind of like makeshift walls. And in her bed, she lays next to garbage and, of course, her animals. You can see multiple soda cups and trash bags next to where she sleeps. I doubt she's ever tried to clean her leg.
Yeah, so that's part of it, too. I already mentioned it in this video. You're laying around trash. There's trash everywhere. But in her case, she had the swollen legs. If you can imagine just all these skin infections. I would get one in the middle of my back because I was always laying down, where it seemed like a big ulcer or something that would not heal. It would scab over and then it would reemerge and scab over and reemerge, just a constant sore in the middle of my back. But in her case, I mean, her legs are just swollen, and just imagine all the skin issues. Your skin is tearing, and there's places you could even see around my neck where it's a little dark. This used to be a lot darker. And all the way down the middle of my back, just a black strip of skin, really hard, leathery type skin. I think that's connected to diabetes, so I don't know if I ever had diabetes or I was just so pre-diabetic. I've never been diagnosed with diabetes, so I don't know. It might just be a big person thing. Your skin starts darkening. But yeah, this is really lightened up. It was so dark before. And so even in the middle of my back, I used to get massages when I was smaller. And the massage therapist would always be like, yeah, it's definitely lightening up. Most of that dark skin is gone, and it came back when I gained the weight, and it's pretty much going away again now that I've lost the weight. So all the way down my legs as well, really dark skin. That same leathery dark skin. So that happens on your body. Your skin is just stretching. You got sores. You're not taking care of yourself. You're not washing yourself. There's dry skin. It's cracking. It's blistering. It's festering. It's just nasty, nasty, nasty.
Especially my mom, because she has to clean me every day. It was absolutely terrifying.
In the first few moments of Janine's episode, we see that she poops and pees right in the middle of her living room. The living room itself is cluttered and dirty, and Janine and her mom seem to have no issue wiping and cleaning her butt right in the middle of the house.
So my childhood got harder and harder, and that continued until right before I started high school. Because when I was 13, my grandmother died.
Man, I just feel so bad for their parents and even my own mom who moved in to take care of me. Just the things that she's had to do and the things that she's seen. I mean, it's just... It's absolutely absurd what we've done to people in our lives who have the best intentions, who try to take care of us, who love us enough that they want to take care of us, but at the same time enable us because they want us to be happy. But if we don't get what we want, we absolutely treat them like garbage. I mean, that's part of it. We've seen it time and time again where, you know, a lot of these enablers are like, if I don't give her or him what they want, they're just going to scream at me and they're going to yell and they're going to be mad and all these other things. I mean, that's just part of it.
Just moments after cleaning her butt, Janine and her mom sit in the dirty living room and just chow down on McDonald's like it's nothing. These two have a weird relationship though. Janine's mother made her start smoking cigarettes when she was just a child because she thought it would make her lose weight. It's that level of dysfunction that leads to...
You're going to tell your kid you're fat, so smoke cigarettes so you lose weight. There's a lot of people who think that if they quit smoking, they're just going to gain weight because I guess they transfer one addiction to another, and so food is usually the go-to after they quit smoking. So just like how if you have weight loss surgery, they're saying that there's a high chance of an addiction transfer to alcohol after weight loss surgery because you don't have that drive to eat anymore. So it's like, all right, you're going to find another addiction, which is likely alcohol. So, I mean, that's why I say it's important to get the brain fixed first if you're going to try to overcome it, because you don't want to transfer your addiction to something else. You want to just be done with addictions altogether.
The skin is so broken down that it can't heal on its own. But with how bad it is, I think it would have been a month or two before the infection got in her bloodstream and killed her. All right, we have you all cleaned up for now, Jean.
Okay, thank you.
But we're going to need to keep you here on antibiotic for at least a couple of weeks.
Okay.
I mean, that's one of the biggest risks of being obese. When I was talking about your skin stretches, sometimes it breaks open. Sometimes you get ulcers on your skin. It can bleed. It can get infected. And that's what kills a lot of big people is that infection gets into their bloodstream. Because they're constantly laying down, they can get sores all over their back, their legs, and it can bleed, and it doesn't stop because they're constantly laying down on their back. And luckily for me, I have ADHD, so maybe God's way of protecting me was ADHD, so I was constantly moving. I was never on one end of my body or another. I'd lay on my side, I'd sit up, I'd move over. I cannot sit still. So if you're ever going to date me in the future, just know that I do not sit still. I'm always moving around because it's just the way I am. Maybe you've noticed in my own videos, I'm always, I just move around a lot. It's just my ADHD.
And we'll teach you and your mom how to keep it clean properly to make sure it doesn't come back once we get you going in the right direction.
Janine keeps her body so dirty that her lymphedema got really badly infected. Dr. Now had to clean her up and actually teach her and her mom how to clean her. She needed to stay in the hospital on antibiotics for an extra week.
That's one of the things I'm glad that I never had with the lymphedema. All right, I'm blessed for that. There was a time I thought one was forming, and it just got really, really bad for a time. But as I lost weight, it did totally go away. And then when I gained weight back later, it didn't come back. So I was blessed that I didn't have that issue.
No, but there's nothing to eat here. So I just want to go to bed.
When she gets back to her house...
Ooh, yeah. Another trashy house. I mean, it's like that's a regular thing. If you go into a fat person's house, it's rarely... Unless they have somebody coming in to take care of them, it's rarely going to be clean. I mean, if you have the money, then I would highly recommend getting like a maid service to come in and clean up after yourself. Because that's the only way you're going to take care of that. But I think I'm going to leave it right here, guys. It's probably long enough, but there's probably a few more people on here that they're going to do. But in order to not get this copyrighted, I think I'm just going to end it right here. I might try to find a way to flip it or something else like that to make sure it doesn't get blocked. But Anyway, yep, that's my video for today. I hope it wasn't too gross for you, and I hope you don't think less of me for what I was at my biggest. Now all those issues are gone. I'm able to take care of myself, shower, wipe myself, take the trash out, all that stuff. So my life is completely different from how it was back then. So if there's anything that can drive you to say, all right, I need to lose weight, I can't get that big, it's this video, right? It's talking about the grossest things about being 600 pounds. So anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I love you guys, and I will see you tonight. Big Talks with Big T. I love you. God bless you.